Today, we're going to be discussing the type 2 people in the self-love segment, and I call them the ignorant souls. The ones who don't understand the difference between self-love and selfishness. The ones who use these terms loosely and use them based on convenience at times. A lot of times they do it out of ignorance, and that's how I coined the name the ignorant soul. They do not know they're breaking the lines and bringing the two worlds together of selfishness and self-love. And do you think you might know somebody who would have compromised these boundaries, or you struggle with it and you want to see where they stand? Continue watching and we'll explore this together. By the way, for those of you who are new here, this is Krupalini Swamy, and I collect and share life lessons here on my channel. This year, the focus will be on self-compassion, self-love, and finding contentment with mental health as priority. If this is something that interests you, then do consider to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you are notified every time I upload a video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well to see how I adapt and work on these learnings in my personal life. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So like I was saying in my earlier video where we discussed that there are three kinds of people when we speak about self-love and self-care rituals. The first category was the self-love deprived souls or the self-deprived souls, and the second category were the happy souls, and then the third category was the self-ignorant. In the previous video, we explored the type 1, which is self-love deprived souls, and how to get better at self-love, and I shared my magical 5-step recipe to finding your way back. I'll link it up here in case you wish to watch it, and also in the description box below. I in fact suggest you do watch it since it's the easiest proven way of finding yourself and increasing dosages of self-care every day. Now let's talk about type 2, the ignorant. These kind of people find it difficult to differentiate between self-love and selfishness. They interchangeably use these words as per their own convenience. So let's try to clear that air. Here are a few simple ways to differentiate between self-love and selfishness. 1. Self-love fills you up and strikes a balance within you. Eating healthy, exercising, beauty routines, relaxation, personal hobbies are all forms of self-love that we need to make time for. Let's say you have guests at home and you decide to treat them with the best family dish that you have. You go look for it in the kitchen and you find the pot full. You are ready to serve and keep your guests happy. But imagine you go in and see the pot empty. You obviously can't feed them at that moment. Self-love is also similar to this. It's only when you have your pot of love full, you have the ability to give, but when it's empty, you have nothing to share. The more you fill the pot, the more you can give when others need it, and you will be ready to feed from what is available. You get it? It's as simple as that. Have you ever been so exhausted that when a friend comes to you looking for help, you can't give them anything in return, but you kind of get a sense of compassion fatigue? It's almost like an alarm saying, hey, you're not taking care of yourself and I don't have enough to share. Self-love is crucial for everyone, the empaths, the ones on the solitude journey, and everyone in fact who's walking this planet. But hey, remember, here's a strong border in between self-love and selfishness. Selfishness is overindulgence and overdoing. Because we said take care of yourself, you go overboard in eating, in shopping and drinking too much, and do everything in exaggerated forms of indulgence, and that we do in as probably a feeble attempt to take care of ourselves as a form of diluted love. This is of course an illusion and only leads to more distractions and results in the temporary filling of void. We overindulge as a way to grasp for something that momentarily makes us feel good, but remember, this does more harm than benefit. In the long term, it only depletes our resources financially, physically, and emotionally. Not to mention, selfishness and overindulgence have a huge effect on our relationships too. So, have you ever had a friend who talks non-stop about themselves and nothing else? This is an example of someone who's overindulging, and that's kind of selfishness because it affects everyone, not just that one particular person in the most negative way. 2. Self-love radiates outwards. It leads us to greater love and caring for others. It helps us to see that just as we possess goodness within, so does everyone else. Self-love is not about the self alone time. It is just a bad myth. Self-love is just love, and the more you give yourself, the more you will be able to give others. A good way to compare self-love and selfishness is to look at the effect that loving yourself has on others. If you take care of your body, your energy levels are high. Like, you can go play with your kids or you can go out with your friends. You always are ready to do things. If you take care of your mind and spirit, you can give solid, helpful advice to your loved ones. Loving yourself will be a motivator to others around you. They'll see you glow and become inspired to let go of clinging negative habits of their own and embrace their own self-love as well. Whereas selfishness channels inwards. It leads us to prioritize our thoughts, our needs, and our feelings at the sense of everyone else's. You'll hear your thoughts like, I don't care what others feel, I have sacrificed enough, I'm only going to do what's best for me. I'm not bothered about the rest of the world. We fall into that dark space in which we neither recognize goodness within us nor in others. When you're being selfish, you will clearly see that you are grasping for stability and more for yourself only. You kind of would have lost the ability to take care of yourself in a healthy way, and unknowingly would have channeled bad vibes towards yourself and others. At times, the wrong people will be attracted to you, causing depletion and the right kind of people will want to take a break from you. You'll miss the ability to feel happiness for others because you dragged yourself into selfishness, and it'll only allow to focus on yourself, and probably in the most negative way. Self-love opens new paths when you love yourself, and you will know yourself better and finally make friends with yourself. When you know yourself, you know what you want and your focus is not scattered. And I personally believe that the universe will help you and you will not miss out on opportunities that are right for you. Self-love opens up to the possibilities that are right for you, furthering your happiness, whereas selfishness kind of leads us to dead ends. Selfishness will skew all parts available in our way, and when you don't know yourself and love yourself for who you are, then you might be looking at what others are doing and measuring your opportunities by other standards. Finally, the last and the most important differentiator is self-love benefits everyone. As mentioned earlier with the food pot metaphor, showing yourself self-love allows you to be at your best self when others need you. You are a more compassionate, content person. Self-love begins with you but ends with everyone else in your life. The compassionate and genuine attention and love that you give for yourself is how you will interact with everyone in your life. It is a door that does not close and is open at all parts of your life and even the world, whereas selfishness is not benefiting anyone. And selfishness will obviously lead you to the path of unhappiness. I'm hoping these notes that I shared here will help you the next time you see yourself crossing lines, or you know when anyone is operating from a negative space of selfishness. I believe the answers to all our life problems lies within us, the capacity of our pot. How much are we creating and filling that pot? The more you have within only means you have that much more to share and give a high five to life. Before I forget, a big shout out to Shelly Johnson and Scale It Simple websites. This particular video is inspired from their work and kind of have helped me put my thoughts into words. I'll leave the link to those sites in the description box below. Do give it a read if you wish to. Also, for those of you who would wish to stay in touch with me and would also want to have a personal chat, then you can always drop a message on my Instagram handle at Krupalini Swamy, and I'll revert back at the earliest. With that, it's a wrap on this video, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Don't forget to drop a comment on your thoughts about this video, and I would love to hear your feedback. Tell me, how do you differentiate between self-love and selfishness? Waiting to hear your thoughts. Take care. Sending you all loads of love. Signing off, Krupalini. Hey, by the way, while you go off, here are a couple of videos that I recommend that you watch, which I put up recently. Take a look, and I would want to have you there for that conversation too.